The serpent, if it wants to become the dragon, must eat itself. We never live. We are always in the expectation of living. So you never know who you touch. You never know how or when you'll have an impact, or how important your example can be to someone else. If the highest aim of a captain were to preserve his ship, he would keep it in port forever. Pagangtang Gangku, Tapi Jangon Turlila Arat, Karina Aku Injin Siring Dan Bukan Dijering. If you carry joy in your heart, the burdens of life will become lighter, and your journey will become a dance of joy and contentment. There are no second chances in life, except to feel remorse. Every single time you help somebody stand up, you are helping humanity rise. I read somewhere how important it is in life not necessarily to be strong, but to feel strong, to measure yourself at least once. Do not let the roles you play in life make you forget that you are human. No matter how high your status in life is, you are inferior to death. For this be humble. Misunderstanding is my cornerstone. It's everyone's, come to think of it. Illusions mistaken for truth are the pavement under our feet. Sometimes wisdom came from strange places, even from giant teenage goldfish. We all have two lives. The second one starts when we realize that we only have one. Never to suffer would never to have been blessed. We are flawed creatures, all of us. Some of us think that means we should fix our flaws. But get rid of my flaws and there would be no one left. Be happy in the moment, that's enough. Each moment is all we need, not more. All shall be done, but it may be harder than you think. How much I missed, simply because I was afraid of missing it. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Adversity discourages losers. Adversity inspires winners. It is one thing to be clever and another to be wise. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. You are art. You are a masterpiece. Treat yourself as such. Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is you-o than you. I scream for everything that has gone wrong. I scream for everything broken in our lives. Always try to be joyful and proactively benign to the people. By doing so every day, people have no control at all over my mood. Whatever you are looking for is also looking for you. You see, don't only look. Be available and ready when it shows up. If life throws you a few bad notes or vibrations, don't let them interrupt or alter your song. If you spend your life sparing people's feelings and feeding their vanity, you get so you can't distinguish what should be respected in them. Everyone's time is limited. What matters most is to focus on what matters most. Schizophrenia may affect how we perceive reality, but it cannot diminish the power of our imagination and the strength of our spirit. I don't know how I look, but I know how I feel. Young, goofy, infinite. A celibate clergy is an especially good idea because it tends to suppress any hereditary propensity toward fanaticism. Whether we like it or not, the one justification for the existence of all religions is death. They need death as much as we need bread to eat. Life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man could invent. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Rousseau identified reason as the disease for which it pretended to be the cure. Prayer is the mortar that holds our house together. Be the kind of person who catches the shit before it hits the fan, not the one who scrapes it off afterwards. Youth is easily deceived because it is quick to hope. The truth is never what you want it to be, little fox. Time is what keeps things from happening all at once. The smell of the sweat is not sweet, but the fruit of the sweat is very sweet. Sometimes we have to soak ourselves in the tears and fears of the past to water our future gardens. Sharing tales of those we've lost is how we keep from really losing them. I never said it would be easy, I only said it would be worth it. We seek the fire of the spark that is already within us. We may be living past and future lives at the same time we are living this one. I tell you, one must still have chaos in one to give birth to a dancing star. I tell you, you have still chaos in you. Books didn't make me wallow in darkness. Darkness made me wallow in books. When you realize there is something you don't understand, then you're generally on the right path to understanding all kinds of things. Different languages, the same thoughts, servant to thoughts and their masters. Hobbes, if you don't get a good night kiss, you get Kafka dreams. Life is something that happens when you can't get to sleep. I want words at my funeral, but I guess that means you need life in your life. Accidents don't happen to people who take accidents as a personal insult. I want to build to that mogul, legendary level. The more you feed your mind with positive thoughts, the more you can attract great things into your life. Keep going. It's not as difficult as you feel it is. Don't give up. Dua kebaikan yang berbeda tidak mungkin berada pada suatu intensitas yang sama. Sesederhana itu. It is the time you have wasted for your rose that makes your rose so important. Consistency is the true foundation of trust. Either keep your promises or do not make them. One has a greater sense of intellectual degradation after an interview with a doctor than from any human experience. Peace is not happenstance. It is a living fire that must be fed constantly. It must be tended with vigilance, else it dies out. It is said that your life flashes before your eyes just before you die. That is true. It's called life. Whole life is a search for beauty, but when the beauty is found inside, the search ends and a beautiful journey begins. Never give up. Things that you keep dreaming about will happen one day. Sometimes the only way to succeed is to fail backwards. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. Dreaming is the poetry of life, and we must be forgiven if we indulge in it a little. You only struggle because you're ready to grow but aren't willing to let go. We'd met at a carefree time, a moment full of promise, and its place now were the harsh lessons of the real world. The life that I have lived was no more than a mask covering the real me. What has happened was not to kill me, but to reveal me. The greatest blessing granted to mankind come by way of madness, which is a divine gift. If thinking should precede acting, then acting must succeed thinking. Attaining recognition is an individual journey. It cannot be bestowed upon us by others. There is a fire against us, and in the end, the fire could burn us or ignite us into an unstoppable force. Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Sometimes being happy takes effort. Invest time and energy in yourself and your happiness. It's paradoxical that the idea of living a long life appeals to everyone, but the idea of getting old doesn't appeal to anyone. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Stanford University Commencement Speech, 2005. The language of light can only be decoded by the heart. The words he said, too, must be human enough to bleed. The place to improve the world is first in one's own heart and head and hands, and then work outward from there. Don't spend time beating on a wall, hoping to transform it into a door. The price we have paid for expecting to be so much more than our ancestors is a perpetual anxiety that we are far from being all we might be. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. I'd rather have cancer than a dishonest heart, which isn't being pious, just practical. Cancer may cool you, but the other's sure to. Scar tissue is stronger than regular tissue. realize the strength, move on. When we begin to live like wildflowers, we put so much of our hearts into blossoming even in the most hostile surroundings. Now I know what success is: living your truth, sharing it. Thoughts without content are empty, intuitions without concepts are blind. Life is pain, highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something. Remember tonight, for it is the beginning of always. Never stop fighting, never stop dreaming. Nobody will save you, some can't even save themselves. All things remarkable are surprisingly simple, albeit difficult to find. You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. The Buddha taught complete honesty, with the extra instruction that everything a person says should be truthful and helpful.